Hello everybody. This is the first of our sessions aimed at helping you feel more confident when supporting your child starting school. We've got 4 sessions planned for you over the next coming weeks, and we're going to cover a number of different topics. The aim, well, of course, ordinarily we'd be with you. We'd be running lovely play sessions in our village halls and our community centres, and you'd be coming to play with us. And we'd be sharing all that information in that way. But of course we can't do that. So we're hoping to bring it to you by the power of video. And we're going to be giving you some information and some tips, some activity ideas. And also we're going to be talking to some reception class teachers who are going to explain to us what all this really looks like in the context of a reception class. We hope that's helpful. So our 4 planned sessions are this one, which is all about independence and supporting your child's emotions. Then we're going to be moving on in a couple of weeks to think about thinking skills and how you can support your child in making choices and becoming an independent learner. And then we've got sessions on literacy and then active and healthy lifestyles and how being active and making healthy choices about what you're eating and how you're fueling up your body gets you ready to learn. Here in Wiltshire, we are lucky. Our local authority, Wiltshire Council, has produced this leaflet, Top Tips for You and Your Child Starting School. And you can download this from the Wiltshire Council website. And it's great. It's got really simple tips in it in terms of things that you can be doing, simple things you can be doing to support your child at this time. And that's the best thing about all of this stuff and the stuff we're going to have in these videos, because there's nothing complicated here. There's nothing complex. This is all about spending some time together as a family, exploring how you feel about starting school and playing together, playing, talking, all those things that we know are the best ways that children learn. So try and find a nice quiet time to talk about school, and this could be just part of your daily routine. We've got so much time together as families at the moment. My girls always used to like to talk when I was washing their hair in the bath. I don't know why, but that used to be quite a chatty time for us. Or maybe when you're out for a walk, just find a nice time when you can have those conversations. And there are also lots of lovely books around on the topic of starting school, written specially for children. And some of them will really make you laugh. So they're a good way of starting a conversation if you find that a bit tricky. Some children, before they can start expressing their emotions and talking to you about that, will need some help naming those emotions. You know, recognising the fact that bubbly feeling in my tummy and is excitement, and giving that a name. This is I know I feel excited. I can feel how I feel when I feel excited. I know that today I'm feeling sad, and this feeling that I get in my tummy and this face that I make, or the face that you make, Mum, Dad, when you're sad, I recognise that as sadness. Some children will need some support with that. And so we've got just a couple of ideas of how you can support your child in that way. So these emotions pebbles were made just by painting pebbles that we found out on a walk. And if you don't have paint at home, then just a marker pen would work just as well. We like to play with these by turning them all over and then pick them one at a time and seeing if we can name the emotion and then seeing if we can copy that face. And then I challenged our fantastic early years team to make some masks just using what they had at home. And this is another really fun one for recognising and naming our emotions. So here's Caroline's monkey. He's excited. And here's Jane's penguin. She's worried. And someone has really made Joe very angry today. And here's Kim's cat. And yes, you've guessed it, she's surprised. So once children can name and recognise their emotions, one of the things we know is most helpful and healthy is if their adults can acknowledge those emotions when they see them. And this is a way of you saying, I can see how you feel and I accept it. So, for example, you might say, I know it feels a bit worrying to be leaving nursery because you love it there. I had a happy thought. I remember Joe and Millie will be with you at school, won't they? And by acknowledging and accepting how your child feels, this helps them understand that all of those feelings are completely normal and they begin to trust their own feelings and feel safe to express them. And we know this is a great step in going on to recognise the emotions of others and becoming more emotionally aware. So we're going to move on from emotions to talking about simple ways you can support your child's growing independence, and especially some ways that you can support them being independent when they go into their reception class. So for this section, we're talking to Sarah, and Sarah's a local reception class teacher, and she really kindly volunteered to talk to us about what independence looks like in a real reception class.
Hello, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about things you can do at home to support your child in becoming more independent before they start in a reception class, and some of the things that as a reception teacher we find it really useful for children to be able to do before they start school. Now, before I start talking about any of the ideas, I just want you to know that reception teachers expect to have a whole range of children coming into our class. We know that every child is different, and we know that every child finds some things easier than others. So I'm going to give you these ideas, but if your child can't do these independently, then please don't worry. There's always support in school. And we know that children will learn things at their own rate. By doing these things at home, it's just getting your child used to being asked to do them, used to the routine. Okay, so it doesn't matter if they can't do these things. So one of the things that is really useful for a child to be able to do before they come into reception is to be able to get themselves dressed and undressed, ready for the PE lesson. So I know that that's quite tricky sometimes as a parent. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old here at home, and sometimes we're in a bit of a rush and I just want to pull their socks on for them. So for this, really, you don't need any extra resources. You just need to be able to stand back and let them get dressed on their own. And then in the evenings, let them get undressed and put their pajamas on their own. That would be really, really helpful. Okay, the other thing that's really helpful is for children to be able to go to the toilet on their own. Now, that might be just practicing wearing their uniform, practicing going to the toilet whilst they're wearing that uniform. Sometimes the trousers have got a clasp that they're not used to, one of those, I don't know what they call, one of those hook things that sort of go like that, or a button that they may not be used to on their trousers. If they haven't worn a skirt and tights combo, then perhaps practice that a little bit at home as well. Sometimes children come to school in jumpsuits, which are lovely, but just have a think about whether your child can independently take off that jumpsuit to go to the toilet and then put it back on again. If your child still needs help with wiping or still needs help with nappies, then obviously that's fine if they come into school in September needing that support. But if you could practice over the summer and over this time now, and see if your child can wipe their bottom on their own, then that would be really helpful as well. So whether your child is having a hot dinner or a lunchbox, one of the things that would be really helpful for them to be able to do is to pour water from a jug into a smaller cup. The best way to practice this that I found from experience is either in the bath or in the garden. If you're very confident with your child's skills, then obviously go straight for lunch time or dinner time with a jug and a cup. I found for my children that just giving them a range of containers and old shampoo bottles or drinks bottles just to explore and play with first really helps that hand-eye coordination, and they became more accurate with their pouring before we then took that to the dinner table. The other thing you could do at home to promote independence and ownership of their learning is to support your child in tidying up. Now, in our school, we don't say tidying up because it's a big phrase. It doesn't really mean anything. So we say we're going to put things back where they belong, because it gives the child an instruction. It helps them understand exactly what you're expecting from them. So maybe you could try that at home. Say, we're going to put things back where they belong now, at a time where it naturally finishes for you, maybe before lunch or before dinner or before bed. You could put a song on, see if they can put everything back where it belongs before the song finishes, and then you can have a boogie at the end. You could set other challenges. You could do timers, anything really. You could race against each other. My girls love racing me to be able to put everything back where they belong, and I often let them win. Right, so that's that from me. I guess the main thing that you can give your child is time. Just give them time to develop those skills of independence, and maybe sit on your hands and step back a little bit and just watch them and wait for them to ask for help. Okay, nice talking to you.
So big thank you for joining us for the first of our videos about supporting your child's transition for school. It's been very nerve-wracking filming them, I have to say. There's a PDF download to support this video available from our Spurgeons website, so have a look for that. There's some extra information and some web links on there, and we really look forward to talking to you next time about thinking skills. Have a really lovely day.